What's good guys, it's SK. So today we're going to be making a beat worthy of a diss track. But recently the rap world's been going crazy with the diss tracks. It all started with Kendrick Lamar, Justin Drake and J. Cole on Like That by Metro Boomin and Future. After that, J. Cole responded but later apologized and deleted it. Drake responded with a track called Push Ups where he also dissed Rick Ross. Rick Ross replied. Since then, Chris Brown also came swinging for Quavo on a track called The Weakest Link, and Quavo's also responded to that. Now there's a few different vibes you could go for on this. You could do something like Rick Ross on the Boom Bap, but I think for this one I'm going to use something more the style that Drake used for Push Ups. So we're talking that kind of upbeat, hard, energetic trap. The tempo-wise for these energetic trap beats, you really want to go something 160 and up. The Drake track actually happens to be around 90, which in double time is 180. So I've set the tempo here to 180 BPM, and I'm just going to set the scale to D minor. So I think the main thing for this type of beat is to have a really simple, kind of catchy melody that's very repetitive. So I'm just going to start off here with a piano, and we're just going to put down some root notes. Now we'll keep this really simple and just repeat these over. We'll just take these up an octave as well. And just for some variation here at the end, I'm just going to pull these down. I kind of want to use a descending pattern just to give it that kind of dark and eerie kind of vibe. So I've just duplicated the track. I'm actually going to delete the notes in this one, and I'm going to use this one for a higher pitch melody. The reason I've done it separately so that sometimes I can drop out the low piano but just keep the high pitch melody and vice versa. Now the main thing here is to get a lot of repetitive notes. So if we drop it down to this note here and then we just keep coming back to this note. And maybe just for some variation here we can switch it up. If we just take this and repeat it over. And if we just bring this one down, just to follow the notes that we have here in the bass notes, and then maybe just for some variation, we can switch up the final bar, maybe bring this up. The other reason for having the two piano tracks separate so that I can treat them differently. On the low piano here, all I'm going to do is take out the sub-frequencies. On the high piano, we can take out a little bit more. Then on this one, I'm just going to add a small amount of replica. I'm just going to add a small bit of chorus. And then just some reverb as well. And then last but not least, just a little bit of portal. Bring the dry wet down though. So back on this low piano, I think I just want to drop it down a little bit further just to make it a little bit darker. Then we can just take the lower notes and just bring the velocity down a little bit. I think that sounds better now. Next, I'm just going to put a hi-hat down. Now, I think it's really important not to overcomplicate this, as with diss tracks, it's meant to be all about the bars. And if you keep your percussion simple, it gives the artist room to kind of switch up the flows on the track. So we're just going to put a really simple kind of two-step pattern down, and I'm just going to randomize them really slightly. As you can see with the 808, I've just kept that really simple as well. I've just stuck to following the bass notes of the piano and then just added in a couple for variation. So on tracks like this where I don't always have the kick playing, I just like to boost the attack a little bit. Also want to set it to clip, turn the output up, and then I can bring the actual volume of the track down so that I get the saturation from the clipper without too much volume. I think we can add an extra hit here on the 808 as well, just on the last bar. Now on all these diss track kind of beats, you get a section where it's just the 808, then you also get a section where a kick comes in and just kind of adds that extra energy. So I'm going to go ahead and find a nice kick. These kind of beats are quite like this OMG Ronnie pack from Splice, and on here we're basically just going to stick to the pattern of the 808. And then I'm just going to add in a couple of extra hits just for a bit more bounce. Add a crash in here at the start just for some impact. Now, something I always hear in these kind of beats as well is some high-pitched strings. Now, they don't always sound the most realistic, and I think Heat Up 3 is the best for these.
I think to these strings, I want to add a little bit of rhythm, so I've just added some kickstart too. The next, just to further the impact every time the pattern repeats, I'm just going to add a stabbing. This is just on the root note here. I've also done the same with the tubular bell because, of course, tubular bells always make your beats 10 times harder. Doesn't matter what beat it is, add a tubular bell, it's instantly harder. Next, I just want to create a B section that doesn't have the main piano melody in it, just for some variation. I want to put some lower pitched strings that you can switch to. So I'm just going to copy this over. We're just going to take out the high piano here. We're also going to take out these strings here. In fact, I think we can even take out the low pitched piano on this section as well. I think on this section, I'm just going to switch out the spins. Maybe switch it up for a Z. So add an extra kick in on this pattern as well. Maybe take the roll out on this one though. Gonna add a choir in next. I think diss tracks always sound sick with the choir in, so. Nice staccato strings. Just randomize these by a bit as well. Next, I just want to add a bit more percussion that I can bring in and out. Maybe start with an open hat. Put these into this first pattern of drums as well. I think when this section's playing as well, I'll just take out the tubular bell. I really like using kind of industrial sounding percussion, so I'm just going to use the sound of this fence hit. I've gone ahead and structured the beat out and made the two parts fit together. All I've added to this is a reverse crash, and apart from that, it's just bringing things in and out. On the 808s, I have added a small amount of automation just so that they don't trail on when they cut out. Right, so here's the full beat. So we start off with just some piano. Bring in the 808 just to build it up a little bit. Into the verse, no chorus section. Bring the kick in here. Just a little bit of piano. Bring the piano back in and the kick. And then just break it down in this section. We've just got the reverse crash going into the switch up. Bring the Z808 in here. I think this sounds mad. And back to the piano section. This time it's going straight into the kick. We take the kick out here. Just kind of switch around from the first verse. It's that really simple hi-hat going throughout. And just break it down again before the switch up again. I think this one came out mad. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Till next time, I've been SK. Peace.